In today's society, we live in a fast-paced and ever-growing world. Thanks to high-speed internet, we have data traffic, mobile communications, cloud computing, social networking, and other applications for a smarter world. Now, access to high-speed networks has become ever so more important, particularly in the light of the emergence of big data and as new infrastructure is built, necessary for accelerating transition from an information to knowledge society. This video represents a first attempt at estimating the negative impact that the lack of broadband has on the economic development, health, and education of Webakwe First Nation.
Okay, so like if I'm to compare my experience here in the north, in a supposed developed country, the internet speed is just terrible compared to a third world country.
It's a very important part of their education because it's hard for us to teach them the tools they're going to need going forward to high school if they don't have access to information.
From here, they can do it from here, voicing their community in a positive way. I see such strength within the community too. You know, that it inspires anyone. You know, it does. And the knowledge is there. The knowledge, you see, the ability and the competence. We all have knowledge, and it's you know what, and it's equal knowledge.
Webakwe First Nation is a growing Ojibwe community located on the northern peninsula of Eastwood Island on Winnisk Lake, 540 kilometers north of Thunder Bay. The 600-plus community members originate from all over northwestern Ontario and enjoy a life that embraces traditional and cultural practices.
My name is Mary Gardner, Gardiner.
And your position?
I'm principal at Simon Jacob Memorial Education Center in Webakwe. I've been here 12 years.
Okay. First question, Mary. Who is your current internet service provider here at the school?
We have two. We actually have the KNet and we have ExploreNet.
Okay. How do you use the internet in your job or in your teaching staff's role today?
We use it within our job. We do use it within our admin system. We have one for the high school and one for the elementary, so that includes both Maplewood and Outcomes. So we're connected to Matawa in that way through the support they give us in education. So that requires us to have an admin system so they can collect data and for reporting purposes. So they take care of the ExploreNet end of it. And then the KNet would be used mainly, well, throughout our school. And WASA uses that. WASA, we have a distance education center. They use WASA right now, which is KNet. They're the two, so we do have two. I'll be honest, we use it for communication. We use it for our teachers use it for their lessons online. Reporting is all online. I can't think of anything that we do now that isn't online. They do try and use, they do their downloading or uploading or whatever the best they can after hours so that they can use it for teaching and strategies for the kids. We do have, all of our classes have the interactive boards, you know, from Polyvision to smart boards. Anything that requires automatic, like internet access, we're rare to use it. Like we can't just go on a site and say, okay, you know, we're just going to use this live or real time. It doesn't work. You have to download it, save it on a USB, and then use it. So we use it more just as an interactive board now. We don't use it to on anything that would be internet connected real time, I guess I want to say. It's just not fast enough. So we can't. I feel like we're going backwards already right now. And I've felt that probably the last 2 years, because the students are ready for it, the teachers are definitely ready for it, and as creative as we are, so that really keeps us going and motivated. It's just no longer even fair. It's not fair for the pupils, it's not fair for the students, because we're holding them back. Can I be honest here? I think maybe I would like to get ExploreNet until the fiber optic comes. We're that kind of, I'm that desperate.
Yeah.
Teachers are that desperate. We'll pay for it. We have to fundraise with our bingos.
As stats show, broadband internet is key to the education of our remote communities. Understanding this, the United Nations declared broadband a human right, or the right to internet access. It is their view that all people must be able to access the internet in order to exercise and enjoy their rights to freedom of expression and opinion, and other fundamental human rights.
My name is Marilyn Bromberger, and I'm the special education resource teacher.
Okay. First question: how do you use the internet in your role today?
In my role as teacher,
Yeah.
I really only use it at home because that's the only place it consistently works. So I do a lot of lesson planning from my home and finding, resources and work.
Do you need to download large files or attachments when you're doing that?
I don't, because it takes too long. So if I need something, I either leave my computer on overnight to do that, or I wait until I go to Thunder Bay next and just do stuff like crazy.
Okay, so it limits your ability to prepare somewhat from, you not being able to get some of the material that you'd like to.
Yes, and also it's very slow, so if I spend half hour researching something, in Thunder Bay, say, it might take me an hour and a half or 2 hours to do it up here because it takes so long to
Browse
load things.
pages?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you do then if you're researching something, or if you're looking for a download and you really want to use it for your teaching or your lesson? What do you do otherwise as an alternative?
I just, I don't use it. So I use other materials. So I'm looking for things that I can either print off or activities that I can just do hands-on. We don't use it at all in the classroom.
Okay. So a lot of your work that you do is after hours then, outside of the school hours?
Yeah.
So that is pretty much during your off time or leisure
Yeah,
time?
but as a teacher, that's pretty normal. So that's really,
You're not paid for those hours?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Does that have any impact on your, I guess, your job satisfaction when you think about it, in that it is your leisure time and that you may want to relax, or it may cause some stressors in your job?
I think it's more about frustrations because you want to do more, but you're limited in what you can do. It's taking extra long time to do it. As far as the time itself, teachers, we expect all teachers work on their own time, and that's part of the job. And up here there's limited entertainments, so you do spend a lot of time on your work because you enjoy it as well. So on that level, it's not frustrating. It's just the fact when you're trying to do stuff and it takes you so long to accomplish that, it's frustrating because you feel you could be doing more with that time.
Okay, school.
I'm the spec ed teacher, and as the spec ed teacher, we are not able to use some resources for our students. For example, the speech language pathologists, they are now willing to work with students through Telelink in the schools one-on-one. We cannot take advantage of that. In order for us to do that, we have to book an appointment through the nurses' station. We have to go up to the nurses' station and do that. So it isn't really very feasible. So we're actually missing out on some services for our kids. So that's very frustrating. And also, I do a lot of alternative programming. I have a lot of students in here who are working on a lot of different things. There are a lot of great internet-based learning programs or tasks that they could be doing. Can't do that. So that independent learning. They're losing a lot of that. And also, you know, we want our kids to connect with the world outside. And when you don't have that connection through the internet, it limits their knowledge and connection with the larger world around them. So I think they're missing out a lot on that, and their ability to share themselves with the outside world. And, you know, I really feel that's a huge lack.
And
Well,
then
I think that's
Craigland-
one thing we're really focusing on is how it's holding our children back.
It is holding our kids back. And that to me is far more important than the personal aspects of it, which are kind of, you know, they're nice, but, you know, we see the interests our kids have, but then how do we present it to them? And you know, right now one of the teachers is doing pen pal letters. Wouldn't it be lovely to be able to connect visually? You know, we can't do that so easily. And also the services that they have. And the sharing of knowledge here, because, you know, the whole, for example, the social studies curriculum has changed now, and much more focus on Aboriginal culture, the ability for our kids to share with kids in the South or other places, because there's a lot of really great platforms for doing that. Sick Kids has a great one out, but we can't partake in that because we just don't have the capability to do that, where they're trying to link up communities and share learning experiences, and we're missing out on all of that.